Da, să-mi zici când intri bine.
Mici. E nașpa totuși că gen așa nu-i chiar ca lumea, știi?
E delay de 3 secunde sau așa. Oh, nu.
Nezoule.
Hai, nu-ți mai fă dragi pe ăla. De ce aud Eye of the Tiger pe fundal?
Ce? Da, îi sună telefonul mamei mele. E ironic că, nu, joc cu King, care e efectiv wrestlerul cu cap de tigru. Sau de pumă, sau ce îi și... De ce nu a putut să-și ia telefonul cu ea? De ce?
Ai primit invite-ul ăla sau mi s-a părut doar?
Da, da, sunt încă în meci.
Ok.
This is the story
nice.
of a man named... All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. Coming to a staircase, Stanley walked upstairs to his boss's office.
You got the punish going on. You. Nice sidestep.
Stepping into his manager's office, Stanley was once again stunned to discover not an indication of any human life. Shocked, unraveled, Stanley wondered in disbelief who orchestrated this. What dark secret was being held from him? What he could not have known was that the keypad... Stanley was in such a rush to get through the story as quickly as possible, he didn't even have a single minute to just let the narrator talk. That kind of anxiety isn't healthy, so he relaxed for a few moments with some calming new age music.
Normal. Uitați-mă meu, de ce tot joacă la fel?
Feeling soothed and rejuvenated,
Okay,
Stanley calmly walked forward
genius.
into the opened passageway.
Damn!
Îmi place că arată de Stanley Parable 2013.
Descending deeper into the building, Stanley realized he felt a bit peculiar. It was a stirring of emotion in his chest, as though he felt more free to think for himself, to question the nature of his job. Why did he feel this now, when for years it had never occurred to him?
Nice.
This question would not go unanswered for long. Stanley walked straight ahead through the large door that read Mind Control Facility. The lights rose on an enormous room packed with television screens. What horrible secret did this place hold? Stanley thought to himself. Did he have the strength to find out? Now the monitors jumped to life, their true nature revealed. Each bore the number of an employee in the building, Stanley's co-workers. The lives of so many individuals reduced to images on a screen, and Stanley, one of them, eternally monitored in this place where freedom meant nothing. This mind control facility, it was too horrible to believe. It couldn't be true. Had Stanley really been under someone's control all this time? Was this the only reason he was happy with his boring job? That his emotions had been manipulated to accept it blindly? No. He refused to believe it. He couldn't accept it. His own life in someone else's control? Never. It was unthinkable. Wasn't it? Was it even possible? Had he truly spent his entire life utterly blind to the world?
Auzi.
Din 2003.
Ai. Ce?
Din 2003 aud.
Controls labeled with emotions.
Ok. Voiam să spun că să ai grijă dacă conduci.
Da, știu.
Nu, mă refer la faptul că vezi că e unul nebun de tot umblă prin zone. De fapt, nu, sunt mai mulți, o grupare, știi, o grupare teroristă, ca să zic așa, că tot sparge geamuri la mașini și lasă bilete la Morbius înăuntru.
What the heck? La Morbius.
Da.
Zi-mi când intri în pizda, mă, mă și enervezi.
Eu sunt că mergi.
Termină meciul ăla.
Ăsta bat picioarele. Capul lor.
Capul, capul.
Ce? He had defeated the machine, unshackled himself from someone else's command.
Auzi o salvare sau mi se pare?
Probabil. S-au venit să le ia pe Morbius.
Păi eu sper că nu o să uita vecinii mei.
Ce?
Sper că nu o să uita vecinii mei.
What other mysteries did this strange building hold? But as sunlight streamed into the chamber, he realized none of this mattered to him.
Oh, frumos, Spanish.
Or even power that he had been seeking.
Damn, mă ține la perete.
Perhaps his goal had not been to understand.
Ce tot zice ăsta, Farman?
De la poză care am trimis. Red is the new orange. Într-una dintre poze.
Whatever life he lives, it will be his. And that was all he needed to know. It was perhaps the only thing worth knowing. Stanley stepped through the open door.
Trebuia să continui cu Poco.
Stanley felt the cool breeze upon his skin, the feeling of liberation, the immense possibility of the new path before him. This was exactly the way, right now, things were meant to happen. And Stanley was happy.
How is that shit still guaranteed?
Pentru că da.
Why is it possible?
Pentru că da.
Nu-mi explic nimic. Stai că acum intru. O să intru pe broadcast. The fuck it mean red is the new orange and the fuck is that loophole schematic. O scris schematic.
Da.
Nu stai așa că acum intru. Se încarcă. Nu, 98%. Cred că ar trebui să văd acum. Nu?
Să-mi zici dacă vezi. Ce vezi?
Stai așa că se încarcă.
Ok. Deci e un anabil de trofeu. Care trebuie să trec în toate setările. Și să pun fiecare setare la
Bă, nu mă înțeleg deloc, zaud numai voci în fundal, the fuck.
Pune pe... Stai. Dacă mă pune pe mut... Mă pune pe mut... Stai. Dar stai că după aia te auzi tu. Ce ciudat să fie. De ce nu intră de pe telefon? De fapt nu. Hai de pula mea. Nu o să iasă nimica bine. Hai, dacă eu mă pun pe mut încă mă auzi, ce mă auzi pe stream.
Nu o să aud absolut nimica, nici așa. N-a căcat. Nici nu pot să-ți dau ție ăsta.
Practic pot să mă auzi pe stream, dar nu o să te aud pe tine, dacă te pui pe tine pe mut. Mă pun pe mut în party.
Așa. Nu, cred că s-a rezolvat.
Stai.
Cred.
Bă. Du-te la set... Fii atent. Du-te la setări și fă să nu ți se mai audă vocea ta. Gen să setări din parte. Știi de unde zic, nu? Să nu se mai audă vocea ta în stream-uri. Nu, pe ca să te aud și eu, mă, prostule. Ca să te aud eu. Păi, dacă te pui pe mute, ce să mai aud? Știi unde, nu? Ca să nu te auzi în stream-uri la alții. Ce? Da, aia de la Dinai. Bun. Eu o să mă pun pe mut în party și o să mă auzi pe stream. O să mă auzi cu un pic de delay, dar o să mă auzi, you know? Așa, deci. Cum ar trebui să mă auzi pe stream cu un pic de delay, dar nu contează. Sper că o să vorbești și tu ca să te aud. Dacă... Stai. Cred că trebuie să fac alt stream. Nu, nevermind. Stai.
This is the story of a man named Stanley. Stanley worked for a company in a big building where he was employee number 427. Employee number 427's job was simple. He sat at his desk in room 427 and he pushed buttons on a keyboard. Orders came to him through a monitor on his desk, telling him what buttons to push, how long to push them, and in what order. This is what employee 427 did every day of every month of every year. And although others might have considered it soul-rending, Stanley relished every moment that the orders came in, as though he had been made exactly for this job. And Stanley was happy. And then one day, something very peculiar happened. Something that would forever change Stanley. Something he would never quite forget. He had been at his desk for nearly an hour when he realized that not one single order had arrived on the monitor for him to follow. No one had showed up to give him instructions, call a meeting, or even say hi. Never in all his years at the company had this happened. this complete isolation. Something was very clearly wrong. Shocked, frozen solid, Stanley found himself unable to move for the longest time. But as he came to his wits and regained his senses, he got up from his desk and stepped out of his office. All of his co-workers were gone. What could it mean? Stanley decided to go to the meeting room. Perhaps he had simply missed a memo. When Stanley came to a set of 2 open doors, he entered the door on his left. This was not the correct way to the meeting room, and Stanley knew it perfectly well. Perhaps he wanted to stop by the employee lounge first, just to admire it. Ah, yes, truly a room worth admiring. It had really been worth the detour after all, just to spend a few moments here in this immaculate, beautifully constructed room. Stanley simply stood here, drinking it all in. Yes, really, really worth it being here in the room. A room so utterly captivating that even though all your co-workers have mysteriously vanished, here you sit looking at these chairs and some paintings. Really worth it. At this point, Stanley's obsession with this room bordered on creepy and reflected poorly on his overall personality. It's possible that this is why everyone left. Stanley sat around waiting for more dialogue, but when a long time had passed and there was no more, he decided that the game was trying to send him a message. But at last, he'd had enough of the amazing room and took the first open door on his left to get back to business. Stanley was so bad at following directions, it's incredible he wasn't fired years ago. Look, Stanley, I think perhaps we've gotten off on the wrong foot here. I'm not your enemy, really, I'm not. I realize that investing your trust in someone else can be difficult, but the fact is that the story has been about nothing but you. What? Really? I was in the middle of something. Do you have zero consideration for others? Are you that convinced that I want